my goodness, Huh.
We
Uh,
here. We made
uh,
it.
We
I got
made
storms over
it.
here, everybody. So listen, if replay is glitches
Sonny, where are you, Sonny?
and they can't hear you.
I
Y'all don't
can
see
hear
me?
you.
Sonny, I don't know.
No, we don't see you.
Oh,
Nope, it went
wow.
black.
Nope, you on a black screen, girl. She on a black screen. I'm in a
Let's see,
hotel room. You know, we just doing all types of stuff today.
I'm glitching.
Hey,
I'm a robot.
we're
But
we're
we made
glitching,
it.
but
We
we
here.
made it. We
We
made it.
here. We made
And the
it.
big gust of wind just went by. Oof.
Oh Lord.
Come on, Sonny.
Well, let's get started. Sunny gonna
Yvette
left and come
Chavez.
Yes.
back.
Hello, Yvette.
She coming
Annette.
back.
Anita. Hello, Anita.
Hey, ladies, Annette and Yvette. Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you guys. Glad you made it. There you are, Sunny. Hi,
Hey,
Yes.
girl.
Sonny.
Hello.
She's back.
Hello, Annette. Hello,
Okay.
Yvette. Does that say Yvette with an I? Hello.
Yvette. Yes, it's Yvette.
Yvette. Hello,
And my
Yvette.
lights
Yes.
just flashed. Lord, my lights just flashed.
Uh-oh.
Oh man. All right. We gonna push through this.
That's right.
That's right.
They be
Mm-hmm.
saying it's and I'm
Girl, we hear every other word.
Every other word. We're going to push through this tonight, though. That's what she's trying to say.
we're gonna be
We're going to make it do what it do.
Thank you, Yvette.
What's our first topic tonight,
I don't
Lady
know.
Bird?
Do I have sound? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Now we can.
Okay.
Yes, we
I
can
just
hear
got
you.
a million notifications popped up on my thing. Okay. So the first topic tonight is mental health awareness movement doing more harm than good. So you know that it's a whole movement going on right now with mental health. You got people making sure that we're going to therapy, that we are focusing on us and make sure that people just not driving us crazy because they can do it. Like this thing driving me crazy right now. But people are definitely, yeah, it's driving me crazy. See, they laughing. I said that about 5 minutes ago. But it's real. Look, we gotta laugh, boy. I gotta laugh. But no, so
You know what?
How she playing with the glitch, y'all?
And
Oh
you know
Lord,
what?
I can't see.
You know what else
the
is
glitch
driving
is
us crazy? This
on me, dog. It's crazy. Oh man.
Oh Lord.
Okay,
You know
while I'm
what?
not, let me get
And
my
this,
words out while y'all can hear.
yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, let me get my so with mental health, I do feel like the movement can do some harm, just a little bit, not a whole lot. I think it helps more than it harms. But I think people misunderstand a lot of times um what it means to be aware of our mental health. A lot of people feel like people are trying to control their lives. Oh, you need to do this and that. Oh, well, if you're feeling like depressed, then you know they when you just start expressing yourselves. A lot of people when they have a lot of self-expression, people get confused with that and sometimes want to throw you in this category of being quote unquote crazy. And it's not that we're crazy. It's just, you know, sometimes we just need to take a step back and really focus and pay attention. So I think when
Start expressing yourself.
it's
A lot of people, when they have a
misunderstood,
lot of self-expression, people get confused with that. And sometimes
It's
want to throw you in the
echoing.
category of being.
when it gets misunderstood, I think that's where the harm comes in at.
Who's talking?
Hey, Maria. Hello.
Hey,
Nobody now.
Maria.
Anybody want to jump in? So
I mean,
Maria,
when you talk about mental health, right? I feel like because for so long people weren't talking about mental health, right? It was this hush hush, what happens here stays here mentality. We don't talk about that, oh, that's, they just, how they act type of thing. That now they're pushing it so hard. Like you said, it's still a stigma behind it, even, to the point of, okay, you want to get the help, right? But it's like, oh, you having mental health issues? Oh, you got mental health issues. When at the end of the day, I think everybody has mental health issues. Everybody gets anxious. Everybody has been depressed a day or two. Everybody has been feeling like their life is going down the drain, right? And all of that is considered mental health issues, right? But because like you said, the push for mental health is doing more good than harm, but there is some harm behind it because people still don't want to be labeled, because we label everybody with something. Everything has a label. Like, if you get a toenail that's hanging out, what is that called? What do you call a toenail? Hangnail. Like, everything got a name. Everything has to be labeled, and people just don't want to be labeled. And because they don't want to be labeled, they don't want to get the help that they need because they're going to be labeled. Even though it shouldn't matter, right? Like, it shouldn't matter if you have been labeled, that you need mental health counseling because you have anxiety. And then people don't talk about it either, right? We talk about lived experience, sharing your experience to help somebody else. But then people don't want to share their lived experience because there's so much stigma behind it, right? Because of the labels. So do I feel like it's doing more harm than good? I don't know, right? Like, I feel like it's different for everybody, right? I think it's really hard for men, right? Because we know men, when it comes to their health in general, they are not good at taking care of themselves. And I feel like Black men and maybe Latino men also are definitely not really in the habit of taking care of their mental health or their health in general. So, I mean, I guess it's half and half, right? I guess people just have to be comfortable enough in their skin to know that it's my mind, it's my body, it's my health, my well-being. I need to make sure that I'm okay. And who cares about what other people think or say or what they label me as? At the end of the day, if I take care of myself, I'm going to still be here another day. I can be the mother and the father to my children. I can be a great worker. I can be a great citizen. But if I don't take care of my mental health, there's so many bad things that could happen to me and possibly others.
Dawn, you just said that so well. Everything as soon as I was gonna say, oh, and I'm gonna add this, you just said, I'm like, oh, you wrapped that all the way up. I couldn't agree more. It's like half and half. You got some people who, and then it's like, it, not that it's on purpose or anything, or I mean, who knows, but it's like some people put the labels on them and they don't even have and so it kind of, the information gets muddled, and you're saying you have this thing, but my cousin have it and you're not acting this way. And it's like, yeah, it's just too much back and forth. It's a personal experience, I feel like, and between you and your psychiatrist, therapist, doctor, whatever, I feel like you should have a mental health team, whether that's a friend, a therapist, somebody, a coworker, if you're that close, somebody. But yeah, and then it's like it's positive if you go that route, if you have good positive role models, if you have a therapist you can work through stuff with as life go on. I was just talking to somebody about therapy, and she was like raving about her therapist. I love my therapist, da 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 da. Like, she gives me all these things. I was like, I love my therapist too. She a queer Black woman, so I love her down. And it took me a long time to get to her. That's another thing. And when it comes to like mental health and stuff, it's like you do have to go through a couple of hurdles, a couple of hoops. And someone who already got mental issues, it's like dang, I gotta do this. I gotta push through this too. Like, I'm just trying to get help, you know? So, and I really had to push through that. Like, I understand it 110%, but you'll feel so much better when you do get through that and learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you, different therapies, all type of stuff. Figure it out for yourself with a mental health team, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's it's a 50-50 for sure. So I agree.
And I grew up in an era where, especially in the African American community, um, they didn't believe in seeking therapy. And even still, a lot of Black people just they feel it's taboo, to see a therapist. But we all need some form of therapy, some type of intervention for our mental health. So, I am all for, addressing your mental health, because if you're not taking care of your mental health, everything else begins to fail. Your health begins to fail. Your relationships begin to fail. Your job begins to fail. Your eating habits begin to fail. You're not eating healthy. So everything, mental health, it's a wider scope than just here. So, um, and at some point we all need therapy, because nobody's life is perfect. When you lose someone, when my mom passed away on my 53rd birthday, that was the hardest part of my life. That was harder than me being homeless. That, 3 or 4 times in my life, that was the hardest time in my life, because I felt like there was this black cloud over me. Um, and I, after my mom's funeral, when we came back from Illinois, I was sitting at my store one day, and I don't know how I found myself at my sister's house, who lived 2 hours from me. All I remember is my niece opening the door, and I said, "I need somebody." And I just fell in my niece's arms. I don't even remember driving those 2 hours. There was this black cloud, um, because I lost my mother, and my mother and I never really had that chance, for me to get the closure that I needed, and two, my mom and I, when she was in the hospital, sick, I was there, and that was my time. That was the first time I realized that my mother needed me. And that I realized I may never get that closure. So it was all of that when she passed away, and me having to escort her body on the plane back to Illinois. So after I found myself at my sister's house and don't remember how I got there in just a t-shirt and some underwear, to this day, I don't remember driving. I knew that I needed to seek therapy. And if I had not, I don't think that I would have survived that, because I laid at my store for days and just wanted to die. I didn't turn on lights, everything was black. I didn't want to be here anymore. My grandbaby, she couldn't pull me out of it. Nobody could pull me out of it. So thank God I ended up at my sister's house, and my niece just loved on me. And she helped me get through. I stayed there for a week, and my niece helped me get through that. And on my way back home, I said, "You know what? I'm going back to being alone. I'm going back to that dark cloud." I pulled over on the highway, got on my phone, and found a therapist and drove right there. And for 9 months, I went through therapy. So we all need, that mental. That was my first time realizing, okay, this mental thing right now, it's affecting every part of my life. My business went down within those months. I barely opened, because I didn't want to be here anymore. you know. So when I say If we don't address the mental, it affects everything in our lives, everything. So, yeah.
You know what, too? Sonny made a statement about it takes a while to find that person when it comes to counseling and stuff like that that fits you, right? And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately for us, people of color, it takes even longer, right, to find someone who looks like us, who
Mm-hmm.
understands what we're talking about and they don't think that we're over exaggerating or being whatever the words are that they use, right? And so I think that too in itself is what pushes people away from even getting help, is because once you go through 2-3 counselors, it's like, oh my God, I don't want to tell my story again. Like, I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
start from scratch again and have to tell my story and see if this person is going to actually be able to help me or understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying and feel what I'm feeling and have empathy for me, not sympathy, right? Because we know that
Right.
those are two different things, right? And so that in itself is, where it's bad at, because, and then now you got, well, and I know that this works for some people. Like, you have a lot of counselors now that want to do virtual visits. For me, I need to be in the room with you. I can't do a virtual mental health visit, right? Because I'm already dealing with the mental health or whatever it is. I need, like, how for me, I need, like some people need personal touch, right? I need to be in the room. I need to be in the space with you. It's the same thing for me when it comes to worship, right? I hate virtual church. Hate it, hate it, hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be in the house of the Lord with other believers feeling that. And so, with that, and then, people that look like us, it's harder for us to find someone who, really is, having empathy for us and understanding
Right.
the problems that we have, when we might be dealing with an issue because we went to a hospital and they thought we were lying about pain, because all Black people, y'all can tolerate pain. And, talking to somebody about that doesn't look like us, they don't understand what we're saying. They don't understand that is a huge deal that could really do harm to us. So I think that that's a huge issue too, finding someone
Yeah.
that you finally fit with like a glove. And
Mm-hmm.
then let's not talk about finally finding that person that you fit with and they decide to leave the place that they're at, and now you got to work with
Right.
somebody else all over again.
Oh man, or they stop taking your insurance.
Or they stop taking your
Oh, dang, I can't call you this weekend or something. Like, do it really? Is it really that deep? Like, see me out back, man. See me out back. You and your manager, see me out back, because this is ridiculous. I just settled in. Where you
Unless you're
going?
paying
Oh
cash
my
for this
gosh, it's the
visit.
worst.
If you ain't paying cash,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, cash. And that
They
can
need to
break
start
you.
handing out coupons and stamping them or something. You come 10 times,
You
you get a
see,
free visit, regardless of where they at. Look.
Right.
one thing I do like, I'm gonna say real quick, and I'm gonna stop talking. I like that a lot of jobs have EAP, employee assistance programs. And if you need to see a counselor and you're not sure if that's really what you want to do, I think you could get like so many free visits that it gets charged to the agency. And then if after, say, for instance, 4 visits, you feel like you want to continue on, you can either stay where they start you at or they refer you out. What I don't like is the refer you out part, because maybe if after 4 visits I didn't got comfortable with you and now you telling me, okay, yeah, I agree this would be good for you, but I have to send you over here in West Bubba to go see this new person. That right there is a little bit daunting in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that some jobs are now offering that service.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a good service. For me, I've had a hard time with therapy. Like, I did it one time, and I guess I didn't do what the therapist wanted me to do. Like, I don't know. I would go, they would ask me questions, I would answer the questions. I wasn't like, because one thing, maybe it's just because I'm stubborn, okay? I'm very stubborn. I'm a Taurus. Blame that on. That's what I'm going to blame it on. But I've always been in this mindset. Like, my dad always said, don't ever volunteer information. If somebody asks you a direct question, you give them a direct answer. So that's like how I have always been that way with everything. I don't volunteer nothing. So when I'm going into therapy, you all this stuff that you ain't asking me, So the therapist was just like, well, I don't think we need this. I think you're doing fine. I don't think I need to see you anymore. Because they really weren't getting anything out of me other than when they would prompt me with questions. So I did that maybe for like a month, and then I was done with it. But I see a lot of people say they have therapists. They talk to them on a regular basis, and I just be like, oh, if that works, I feel like if it works for you, do it. Like simple. You don't have anybody to just be able to talk to and to vent to, and that's what the therapist can be there for. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I read a text that I
see
sent to someone real quick, y'all, about mental health?
Child, is it some tea?
Okay, let me see. No, it's not no tea. It's like unfortunately, not this time. It's like an encouraging, like me talking about my stance on like mental health and stuff too. What'd he say? Oh, so I was talking to him about mental health real quick. I was talking to him about mental health, and he said, wow, I never heard a Black person speak like that about it. And I was like, yeah, and I'm gonna change that. Oh, gosh, my a little nervous, y'all. I said, yeah, and I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna play my part in healthcare and represent for our people, for real, for real. This is a text, y'all. So this is a text. Mental health is just as important as physical health. We've been fooled. We've been played, and we've been blinded to resources, looking at proper healthcare as white people things or rich people things, or even a waste of time. And that's what they want. We deserve to heal and help ourselves. We deserve to be cared for by our healthcare providers. We deserve affordable healthcare. We deserve someone with actual schooling and knowledge of mental health, not just our homies and family, even though we love them too, who have been through some things and who are still going through it. We deserve to be educated on and aware of our bodies, minds, spirits, not just for ourselves, but for others. We deserve to express ourselves and love ourselves out loud without it feeling like, hey, life is hard. I just got to be hard body and keep the trauma close and stick it out. Whole time it's PTSD or bipolar disorder or chronic depression, etc. It's more ways through this than being hard body and pushing through with tunnel vision until you break. So yeah,
girl,
to somebody.
Girl,
yeah,
you hit it right there.
I had to give him that real quick. I said, hey,
yeah, you hit every aspect right there.
Absolutely.
We gotta do better, everybody. And this is what I like to talk about. This is what I tell people about all the time. So it's like, I love this topic, and I'm constantly talking to people and trying to change their mindset, because if you come to me about it, I'm gonna tell you what you need to know. You got to figure some things out by yourself, but I'm gonna tell you what you need to know as far as my positive experience, because we've heard a lot of the negative experiences, and that's what's keeping us. That's part of what's keeping be educated, but that's part of what's keeping us where we at too. Because you get too scared to even the horror stories and this and that. Once you see that doctor doing something, we got a good eye. You move to the next. You're not gonna sit down and let them do surgery on you and you die on the table. We're not doing all that. Like it's a way around it, but it still needs to get done. You know what I mean? And yeah, so that's my take on mental health in a nutshell. And health, period.
Now, if we could put the whole generation, if we could get the whole generation like Sunny, we'll be all good. Yes, that's what we
think
need,
about.
man.
We talking about the therapist part about it. Let's talk about when you have family and friends who you know that they need assistance, and you've tried to be that support system for them, right? And they just, for whatever reason, depending on what the diagnosis could be, they are not getting the services that they need, but they are pulling you into a storm, right? And because you love them so much and you want to help them and you want them to get the help, you are feeding the giant, and you shouldn't. You are allowing them to continue on this spiraling that they're doing because you're feeding into it. It's a very hard thing to do, to have to let go of someone that you love and you see them spiraling. Recently I've had to do that, right? I've had to let go of someone that I loved very dearly because they have chosen, and I don't even think that they've chosen, the mental health has made them believe that there's nothing wrong. They don't see or hear what we see and hear. But I had to let them go because they were pulling me into some stuff that was like affecting my mental health. And so, that's an issue too. Us, with family members and friends who are going through mental health and them not going to get the help that they need. And, we are then being pulled into something that it doesn't have to be that way. And it's so hard to pull it. Like, I'm getting emotional thinking about it because I love her so much. But, unfortunately, it's just like an addiction. Until they are ready to get the help, you sometimes have to let a person totally hit rock bottom and just hope that the rock bottom is not them being out of here. So
yeah.
And that happens often, especially in the Black community. Like, because like what Miss Yvette was saying, like that one cardinal rule, what Granny say, my business stay in my house. That was the number one rule. You don't talk about what we talk about in this house, you don't talk about outside this house. So a lot of people have been, that's been instilled in them, like, keep your private business to yourself, not realizing that when you go and talk to these therapists, or you go and talk to somebody that this is what they do, this is their specialty, like, they have things they have to abide by. You go and talk to them, the confidentiality is there, and it's a safe space. But a lot of people are so used to not realizing that, or just, whatever thoughts they have, they don't realize this is the place to go. You want to talk and be free and open, this is where you go, to talk to those professionals that really can help. Yeah, they get they knowledge from the textbooks and things like that, but this is something that they do. Versus, we could go talk to our cousin, our auntie, but sometimes that cousin and auntie is gonna keep you going down the path of the wrong way. They're gonna keep you going the wrong direction. So you want to go the right direction, and that's sometimes that's just got to be going with a therapist. Hey, Brock. Hey, you guys in the chat too. Go ahead, Missy.
And what you said, in the Black community, what goes on in my house stays in my house. That is why you have so many children that are being molested, and they can't go to a counselor or whomever and tell them, because they're raised, what goes on in my house stays in my house. And then they grow up and those issues were never addressed. No one ever knew. So now they're dealing with this, in a mental aspect of the trauma from what was going on as a child, and they couldn't talk to anyone about it. So, yeah.
All right. So,
and we have to fix that. We have to stop that. That's a generational curse.
Oh, damn. I don't even think they're ready for that generational curse conversation.
Yeah, we need to,
Man.
That's definitely
that's deep. That's layered. Curse. That's a layered.
That is
combo.
Very layered. Yes. Okay, so I was trying to pull my stuff back up on my phone. All right, I got it. So we are still in Women's History Month. So today what I wanted to do is, because yesterday was March 10th, which, let me tell y'all, I did not realize how many health professionals don't know awareness dates for things that they specialize in. This is so mind-boggling to me, because I went to a clinic yesterday, and this is an infectious disease clinic, and I'm talking to the nurses and things and the doctors. I'm like, oh, you know what today is? What are y'all doing for the day? They was like, what's today? I was like, today's March 10th. It's National Women and Girls HIV and AIDS Awareness Day. And it was like, oh, I didn't know that. What do you mean you didn't know that? And this is what you do? Like, what?
Wow.
Yes. So that is what yesterday was. Yesterday was National Women and Girls HIV and AIDS Awareness Day. It's March 10th every year. Okay. And it's been
Every
March
year.
10th for a while. It's been March 10th. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring a couple stats to you guys. I know I have some stats, and Dawn has some things that she's pulled up as well. I think what I want to highlight the most important is that we need women and girls to understand that right now we are in the highest of the statistics right now. Because nobody is going and getting tested. We need people to go and get tested. If you're a teenager, you can get tested. If you feel like you need to have your parents with you, fine. But if you are a teenager that is sexually active, you need to be getting tested.
Yeah.
I know, they like to hide stuff from their parents, but this is not something you want to hide from your parents. Like, it's really not.
Yeah.
I've seen, and this is even in the 90s. I know we've all heard stories of teen parents, teen pregnancies, and things like that. I've just with my own two eyes, I have seen a young girl as young as about 9 years old pregnant. Okay. My mom used to work for Wicked Nutrition, and when I was younger, I used to go with her to work. And so I saw every age group coming through that office as young as 9 years old. And so that lets you know, even though, we want to think that, puberty or certain things for women start at certain ages. No, it's going to start when it's going to start. And so we have to know when it starts with our girls, and we need to know to make sure they understand all of these things that are going on with their bodies and what they need to make sure they're coming to us and talk about.
Yeah.
And not going to their friends. Yeah, listen, I would rather my kids learn about all of these things from me than what they're going to learn in the streets. Because learning this stuff in the streets is going to give you all the wrong information. So I don't know what stats you had pulled up, Dawn. But I know I was looking at some that were kind of like global and in the United States, but I'll let you go ahead because I feel like I'm glitching a little bit. So I'm gonna let you go jump in there so that I'm not being a robot.
Okay. So what I pulled up was basically like piggybacking off of what Lady Bird said. Black women are particularly impacted by HIV. Half of the new HIV diagnosis is among women, but 13% of women in 2023. And then the new HIV diagnosis rates among women in the South are nearly twice as high of those in the region in the U.S. So that's another thing. And women of color are the lowest of women who are using PrEP, which is a medication that you can take to not contract HIV. Full disclosure, I'm a woman living with HIV. When I talk to other women who are negative, I still hear the same comments that, I've been with the same person forever. I don't have to worry about that. I don't do those kind of things. I'm married. I have one partner. I've been with my husband for years and years and years. Still not understanding that anybody who is HIV negative is HIV possible. If you are having unprotected sex, you are possible of contracting HIV. And, unfortunately, women 97% of the time are contracting HIV through sexual activity. and they are contracting this from partners that they feel like they are in a relationship with, and their partner is doing the same thing they're doing, just being with them. Or unfortunately, a partner who has not disclosed to them that they are bisexual. A partner who, unfortunately, because we still have some people who know that they're HIV positive and they're not taking their medication. So that means they're not undetectable, which means that they cannot transmit the virus sexually if they're undetectable and taking their medication. But unfortunately, you do have some people who know that they're positive and they're not taking their medication and they are just out here doing whatever. So like Lady Bird said, you have to get tested. I tell people all the time, you are in charge of your own health. I know I get a lot of pushback for this when I'm doing education, but it's not my responsibility to tell you that I'm HIV positive. In one breath, I'm going to say that. On one side it is, but on the other side it's not. It's your responsibility to have that conversation before you sleep with me. When you are about to have sex with me, before I even get to tell you, you should have already asked me for my status. You should have already asked me for my status, because there are some states that you do not have to disclose your status if you choose not to, if you are undetectable. So, personally, I am a person who discloses because I was, in a situation that I wasn't told and I wasn't given a choice. But we are in charge of our own health. Before you decide to make a conscious decision to have sexual intercourse with somebody, you need to have these conversations, or you need to be protecting yourself. And that's PrEP, that's condoms. As adults, we have to be responsible. And like Lady Bird said too, when I worked in the clinic, we had a 12-year-old come in and test positive for HIV. That broke my heart. 12 years old. 12 years old. Wow. So please, ladies, please, please, please. I don't care if you think you got the best man in the whole world. What will it hurt to every year when you get your annual visit to go get your breasts checked, to go get your poon checked? Just get an HIV test. If you know you good, what would it matter? Just get tested. Just like you get your blood work for diabetes, for high blood pressure, for cholesterol. Go on and slide that HIV test in there. Yep. Protect yourself. Yep. You are the protector of you.
Mm-hmm. And just to add on to what she said about like the disclosure part of it, because I wanted to make sure people did understand that part too. A couple of the states that have updated their laws to align with current science and they remove criminalization from their laws are California, Colorado, Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, Missouri, New Jersey, Nevada, North Carolina, Virginia, and Washington State. So those are states that have removed criminalization, and they've updated some of their other laws too. Because a lot of people don't know that a lot of states do have laws just in regards to STDs in general, not just with HIV. There's other laws that they can find it. Look, if somebody's called police on you, they're gonna find something in the statutes to you. So I tell everybody, know the laws in your state. That's something that's very important. Just know what's going on where you live with anything. Right. And yeah, our women are getting these high diagnoses. A lot of them are from heterosexual relationships. Mm-hmm. That's where it's coming from. And they're coming. So that means they're coming from a man. And not again, we not bashing the men. However, a lot of men don't like going to the doctor. So if they don't like going to the doctor, they're not going to get tested. They're not going to get checked. Mm-hmm. They're just going to assume, well, you went to the doctor said you good, so I'm good too. Mm-hmm. And we can't have that. So that's why, like Don said, it's important. If they're not asking you your status before you can open your mouth, you need to be questioning something. It should be a question of something before you laying down with somebody and having all those things going on. You know,
And
the little
if you
focus stuff.
and also, you know, if you have somebody that you, so say for instance, you're a woman and you are very adamant about condoms, right? And you meet somebody and y'all about to do whatever, and they are so, I mean, they arguing you down about not using a condom. Remember, we talked about this: red flag, purple flag, orange flag. Why you like, I don't, you know, like you don't want, you don't know what I got. I don't know what you got.
Right.
Right. Like, what do you, why we can't just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You just got to protect yourself. You know, at the end of the day, you have to protect you. You just have to.
Yeah.
You cannot
Mhm.
depend on somebody else to worry about your well-being. I'm sorry, you just can't. Yes, you would hope that people want to do the right thing, right? You want to hope that people want to disclose to you, you know, and give you a choice. You want to hope that people are not, you know, again, like Lady Bird said, it's not just HIV. People, syphilis is on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
The babies
HP.
that have been
Yeah.
birthed with
HPV.
HCV, all types of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
Yeah.
you have to take care of you. I beg
Yeah.
and plead y'all to please, if you're having sexual relations, please make sure
And
that you are getting tested. You are having these hard conversations. And if you don't want to have a conversation, make sure you're using condoms and PrEP. Now, before we
Yeah.
go on this, I wanted to answer or see if we wanted to answer this question in the chat.
Oh yeah,
Lady.
Alpha. Hey Alpha. I see
Yeah.
Alpha is on YouTube tuning in. Alpha had a question. Alpha wanted to know, so all of what you're seeing is a direct result of women leading the sexual revolution. So the question is, do women want to go back to regulation in dating and mating like before sex revolution? Do any of y'all want to answer that question? Little Don went on mute on that. Ooh.
Huh?
Go on, Sonny. Go on, Sonny. I see you. Go ahead. Get it, girl. Get it.
I'm trying to
Cause
see.
I'm like, what you mean, like regulations? What type of regulations was going on?
I think he's talking about when women, you know, couldn't
over
go nowhere
sexual or
without a
something.
man. Yeah, like yeah, they couldn't do anything without a man. They could, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I was just talking to somebody about this, honey. I was like, women done been through a lot. Like the history of this country and the way that we were treated, women, period, black women especially. But then you got women, we couldn't do nothing without a man. Imagine being a man, you can't do nothing. Come on now. And we fought to change that, and we still fought. Like, that's the type of equality we're talking about. Because you say equality to somebody, and they like, oh well, then I don't need to open doors. Oh well, then I don't need to do this, or y'all need to give me my flowers too. And that's not even the type of equality we even talking about. Like, we literally mean same pay. I think that's a personal thing. If that's what that person want, then yeah. But what we're talking about as a whole and what we're fighting for is equal pay, you know what I mean? Just to be seen as equals, at least in the work field, in the medical field. They know all this about a man body, don't know nothing about a female body. You know, like, it's so much more that go into it. So I mean, we really came from a far place, but we're still fighting to this day, and it's just not the same. We're still trying to get that. So to answer that, I wouldn't want to go really back to, I think it's like, and I say our country because in other countries, the women are put on a pedestal, and you can have roles and it not be demeaning. I think that they took our roles and they devalued them, and they tried to make them demeaning. Like, for some reason, I don't know why you can't appreciate that we cooking for you every day, or why we cleaning everything for y'all, why y'all going out hunting or whatever you say you're doing. You know, but like, if we talking about that far back, like, why would you come here to America and then try to devalue that? Like, you know what I mean? They're not doing that in a lot of other places. But no, here, no, I wouldn't want to go back to that extent of, oh, I need a man for everything, blase, blase. No, I'm cool off that. Now, I feel like we should be equal. I feel like we should play to our strengths. I feel like women do have certain qualities and men do have certain qualities. And if we come together and we both appreciate them and not try to one up each other or try to say, oh, well, you're trying to get this, I'm trying to get that. Like, we should be coming together, you know, especially black men and black women, because we be going through the most over here anyway. So we got, at least let's be the example, and then maybe everybody else will follow.
Right.
Okay, because that's what
Right.
really needs to go on.
Right. And I want to go back to something that Don and Lady Bird said about, you know, asking a person their status. I take that a step beyond asking because me, I don't believe anything anyone says. I need proof. You and I, because you need to know my status, I need to know your status before we hop into bed. I haven't been sexually active in a couple of years, but what we're going to do is you and I together are going to go and get tested together. That means we'll get our results at the same time. We're going to sit down with each other and view our results. Because I need to see things for myself. I don't trust anyone. I don't take anyone's word for anything. I could hear it storming outside, and you could tell me it's storming outside, but until I see it for myself, I don't believe it. So when it comes to my body, my health, my life, before I get in an entanglement with you, I need to see for myself, and you need to see my status as well. So if we have more people that do that, because you can't believe everything, because some people, they want that 5-minute pleasure, especially men and some women. So they're going to tell you anything.
Look, Missy Red, this what he gonna say. Hold on, I'm making loud. This what he gonna say. Come on now, girl. We too old for this. We too old for this. Is we gonna go on and do what we gonna do? That's what he
Mm-mm,
gonna say. That's what
because you know what? Mm, You know what? And I have had men to say that. And you know what? We don't even need to discuss anything else. We don't need to discuss anything else because I take control of my life and my health. There are certain, I couldn't prevent, well, I could have, but certain things you cannot prevent. Getting cancer, you can't prevent, in a lot of instances, um, getting diabetes. I didn't prevent that, but I'm damn sure going to prevent HIV and AIDS because I'm going to take it a step further. You and I are going to go together to get tested. So, sex ain't never been that important to me. There are more important things in my life than 5 minutes of pleasure, 10 minutes, whatever you call it, whatever it
Well, I
is.
was about to
There,
say, Yvette Renee, 5 minutes, girl. What's going on?
girl, I don't care if it's an hour. My life is more important than being in a bed with a man.
No, I get
Facts.
it. I get it. I was
I don't, that's not a priority for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sonny,
I
you
was
said you had something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna add that I was on TikTok this morning, and I had came across a story of how this a black woman had contracted HIV. The creator is Brittany, the content creator. That's who posted it. It's like a 12-part story. The story is called "Evil Lives Here." HIV story, and it was so crazy. Like, I mean, I'm gonna just tell y'all real quick. She met this guy at work or whatever, and he like protected her from her ex. So she kind of looked at him like, oh, kind of save her life or damsel in distress type situation. And then they started talking, and long story short, she had started getting sick. He was like, already he had a couple red flags that she needs to watch this, because it was a couple of red flags. None of us would have went for that. But anyway, she like kind of ignored him. They went and got tested together. It was red flags around that. Then she started getting sick, and he was just there, like basically watching her just die, just raw. He knew exactly what it was, and just and like, this is what it be. Like, this is a real. She's fine and everything now, and she's telling this story and stuff. But it's like, it be to that point with a man. Like, it's like Miss Yvette said, it's never that deep. Like, it's not you, because a man will sit there,
Mm-mm.
and I'm not man bashing, but I'm just saying it was a man in this, and that's why it is what it is, because people aren't sharing it, it's not, and that's what it is. But a man will sit there and just watch you waste away. I mean, she didn't find out until she had AIDS and was in the hospital, and they finally told her, like, yeah, this is what it was, because he was on a computer looking up cancer with her. Oh, it could be this one, it could be that one. Da da da. Y'all need to watch it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And then the last thing I was gonna say is when I was sexually active, I got tested after any partner that I had. Like even if I had a partner for a long time, we still would get tested, period. You know, like especially if it's like those situationships, y'all can have situationships for 10 years and all that. Y'all know y'all not together that time. You're calling it a situationship. There's no way y'all just with each other, or one person is out and the other person, you know, so you still get tested. That's what I say. That's what I tell my friends. You never know, and your body change over time, and you be successful or whatever the word is to things. And yeah, you just got to take care of your health, and nobody can do that for you. So
Yeah.
yep.
I don't know. This alpha, whoever alpha is, and there it is. Enjoy the sexual revolution. Enjoy hookup culture. Thanks for the what? Huh? What?
But you know, I saw him say that, and so it made me think about, you know, unfortunately, and I believe that it's always been like this, but now it's just out and it's more people approve of it more. There's like this sexual revolution, right, going on, where there's a new generation of people that they don't feel like they need to be in committed relationships. They can have sex with whoever they want, however they want. They have this mindset that if they want to have sex with, or they know that if they want to have sex with a different person every day or a couple people a couple times a day, it's their choice, it's their body, and nobody should, you know, stigmatize them for that. And and listen, I'm listening. At the end of the day, do what you want to do. But in all of that doing that you're doing, I hope that you protecting yourself while you doing. And that's the problem. I'm not trying to tell nobody how to do their sex, with who to do it with, how many times to do it, you know, whatever. What I'm saying is, if you want to have sex, protect yourself, because you will end up in a situation like Sonny just said, sick, and the person acting like they don't know what you're talking about, and they just sitting there watching you die, right? Because they don't care about their health. And unfortunately, you know, like in my situation, he knew he was positive. He knew that he was positive. He knew he wasn't taking his medication. And his comment when, you know, we had this conversation was, somebody did it to me, so let's just be together. Are you freaking nuts?
Wow.
Like what, sir? Like my biggest fear in my early diagnosis, and even now, was that I was to transmit this virus to somebody. I think that would have took me out of here. Hence why the first thing I would say to somebody before we kissed, I got to tell you something. You know what I mean? So in this sexual revolution, do what y'all want to do. I'm not here to judge nobody on that. I just want you to protect yourself and protect others, because in protecting yourself, you protecting others. It's as simple as that. If everybody did that, then the HIV diagnoses would go down. If people would just protect themselves, then you're going to protect everybody else. I don't care how much sex you choose to have, with who you have it with, how you have it, how many times you have it. Just protect yourself. It's as simple as that. Be sexual fluid as you want to be, but fluid yourself to protection.
Yeah.
Okay, fluid yourself in that protection.
Ooh, and on that note, baby. All right, so on that note,
sorry, I'm sorry. I go a little over the top.
Nah, look, Don was ready. Look, I'll be gonna let Don loose on y'all. Y'all ain't ready.
Okay.
So, all right. So I do have some news I wanted to talk about, and you know, I'm trying to make sure my computer don't glitch on me, so I gotta pull it up on my phone like an old person. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is I wanted to we feel old. Oh, there we go. I wanted to talk about Lindsey Harding. I kind of just really wanted to shout her out because she, you know, it's Women's History Month, and now she is, so in 2023 she made history as the first Black female to lead an NBA G League team. So y'all don't know, G League is like the little, I call it, it's like the minor leagues of the NBA. Because LeBron's son played on G League when he first came into the NBA and things like that. So she was the head coach of one of those teams. But right now, she made history, the first female assistant coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. So that is a huge accomplishment. I wanted to really highlight that because that's something for our, for the generations to come to see this. Because when we think about the NBA, when we see females dealing with the NBA, either they're a female news reporter, a female sports reporter, they're, or they're doing just something other than having one of those major roles. So to have a role that in a male-dominated sport is a huge accomplishment. So I wanted to really highlight her and talk about her. And one of the things that she said was she isn't interested in just being a footnote in history. She's busy building an unassignable I don't even know how to say this word. It's a word. Listen, it got a lot of S's and L's and B's. She's building her resume. She's chipping away barriers left by the greats who came before her. And by the time she reaches that head coach seat, because that is a goal that she's going for, there won't be any doubt in anyone's mind that she earned it through fire and excellence. So I like that. That's very motivational. One of the other topics I wanted to talk about was Tasha K and Cardi B. Because Cardi B said she want her monies. And how Cardi B laughing.
That is how Cardi B.
Cardi say, I want my money. So if y'all don't remember, Cardi B sued Tasha K back in 2019 over some of the bloggers where she was trying to say that it was a defamation suit. She was trying to say that Cardi was using drugs. She had a lot of sexual activity. She was talking about STDs, all this stuff. Cardi B took her to court. And I don't know if y'all remember, I watched it. She went on that stand. She testified. They had their little things back and forth. And Michelle, what that? And so right now, so I guess she behind because she's supposed to be paying Cardi B $20,000 a month. And she recently started a GoFundMe to get her fans and followers, I guess, to help pay Cardi B her money. From what I'm reading, it says that under the agreement, the payments start at about $176,000 in the first year. And increases to over $318,000 by the fifth year. And then after the fifth year, Cardi B still has the option to pursue whatever balance remains. Okay, so if she still owe her money after 5 years, which I'm pretty sure she probably will, because she was awarded $4 million in damages. So, yeah, I in a very long payment plan. This is a long payment plan.
And the crazy thing is, some of her fans have started donating to that GoFundMe.
Yeah, they have.
A penny, because my thought process was on it. You should have thought about it. She got plenty warnings before Cardi took her to court. Cardi kept warning her, "I'm going to sue you. Basically stop lying on me." And then I was watching something else. Somebody was like, "Why is she?" Because she made a recent video, basically saying, "Yeah, what you gonna do when this money is paid off and the NDA is pulled off? Then what you gonna do? Because then I'm gonna talk." And they like, why is she so fascinated in on her when there's so many other celebrities she could be talking about? Girl, pay that lady her money and leave her alone before she sues you.
Exactly.
Right. Because Tasha, she also ended up filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy to try to reorganize her finance stuff. Cardi like,
Mhm.
I need to see your finances. she want her money, and rightfully so. I mean, stepped out and stepped on your tongue, and so you got to pay up. But I'm not helping you. I'm not going. I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
I'm not donating to a GoFundMe unless I feel like it's a rightful cause. Because I definitely don't donate to funeral GoFundMes because we got too much life insurance that you need to be getting. I tell people all the time, don't send me a link
That's
saying
true.
donate for the
Come
funeral
on, say it
fund.
again. Say it again.
Mhm.
Man, life insurance. My grandma used to make sure my life insurance, they used to come to my grandma's house a month, pick that payment up. Sure. So it's nothing
you're out there
now.
buying,
We got easy.
yeah. Yeah, while you're out there buying tennis shoes and Apple devices,
10-inch bundles.
Yeah.
paying a
Stop!
No, for real. I mean,
Right.
you gotta make it more important because people will be quick to say, "Oh, I can't afford that. I can't afford it." Oh, you can afford it. You afford what you want to afford. And when your kids gotta be out here looking crazy, begging people so you can get buried, that's one thing I was so excited when I became 50 years old and I was able to get a policy, because in most states they will not insure you if you're HIV positive until you're 50. And so I was so excited. As soon as I turned 50, that was the first thing I did, was I went and got me a policy, because I'll be damned if my kids got to beg anybody for anything.
Yeah. You're out there driving, paying a $900 a month car payment, but you don't have life insurance.
Because that car getting taken back, baby, when you die. They can't even sell that joint.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So
that's a whole
one of the
other
other stories that's a whole nother show. Yeah. And then the last news thing I wanted to bring up was I don't know if you guys remember the story about Kendrick Johnson. So Kendrick Johnson was the high school student in Georgia who was found rolled up in a gym mat. And nobody to this day, all these years later, nobody say they don't know what happened. They don't even know where his organs went. His family had a $1 billion claim that they did, and recently the judge dismissed it. The federal judge tossed out that $1 billion claim. So the parents are now in pursuit of, okay, you know what? You want to toss that out? Well, we're gonna go for $10 billion. How about that? So they're gonna be trying to push again, because honestly, the thing is, nobody wants to take accountability for what happened. If you paid attention to this case, like I did, like I took a deep dive into this, there is no possible way that this was an accident that took place with this young man.
No.
The way that he was in this rolled up mat, the mat, first of all, was too tall for him to just go up to fall into it, the way they're trying to say, oh, maybe he fell into it and got stuck. And he looks like he has some type of like defensive wounds on him. Like, it's just a lot that was going on with this case. And then to top it all off, you couldn't tell his parents where his organs went.
Right.
That's a lot. And so that's what they're doing now. The judge dismissed it on March the 6th, saying that the court again expresses its concerns about the inconsistencies between the various official reports on his death and the plaintiff allegations. But she ruled the Georgia Bureau of Investigations and certain defendants were shielded by the 11th Amendment, which is the sovereign immunity and found procedural defects. So it's just a lot going on. I'm pretty sure those other kids, they assume was around when this happened. They know what happened. They know what happened. Oh Lord. But I hope that Go ahead,
They
Miss Yvette.
always, when it comes to us, they always want to dismiss something or not charge or whatever, because now had this not been a black kid,
Somebody would have been up under the jail, just like those
mhm,
Right,
mysterious hangings that's been happening in Georgia
right.
of the black
Oh
mhm,
yeah, Angel.
black men. They're all
yeah,
committing
Yeah,
suicide.
yeah,
Come on now.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But the parents, so with the new filings, what they now that they issued recently, they're accusing the judges and local officials of entering materially false, fraudulent, and felonious orders, and alleges a racketeering style conspiracy to hide the truth about Kendra's death. Um, and the parents actually filed separately, so they each filed for a 5 billion.
mm,
So they did it separately.
mhm,
Um, yeah. So, and this happened in 2013. In case anybody was wondering how
yeah,
far back ago this happened, this was in 2013. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to mention that because that's something that I've been following over the years, hoping that something would come of it, some type of justice for that. But you
yeah,
know, when we dealing with Georgia, we listen. I tell you, Georgia people don't realize in the South there are still so many places in the South that
mhm,
are like what we call sundown cities.
Sundown cities. Yes,
Sundown
ma'am.
girl,
cities. You don't know what a
I
sundown
lived,
city
yep, I lived in the state of Georgia for 13 years and I know how Georgia is.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you at nighttime, you do not want to be caught
Mhm.
anywhere dark if it's not your
Mhm.
neck of the woods. Mm-mm.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So one of the other topics that we were going to talk about tonight. Oh, we just been talking about all kind of stuff, right? Was over medicating versus the under treatment of women's mental health. So that's kind of talking about like when women are dealing with postpartum depression or even with PMS, or one that I really didn't even know about was the PMDD, which is, it has to do with PMS, but it's like the chronic or severe PMS. It's called premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It's like crippling. And when I read what that was, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, because I've known girls who would have PMS and they would literally have to miss school because it would be that painful. They couldn't like come to school and things like that. And so that's a real thing, because I feel like just even as a Black woman, when we go to these medical places and we seek help, they already are looking at us a certain kind of crazy way when we talk about we're in pain. You've heard stories of
Mhm.
women going into labor and either dying during childbirth or losing their babies
Yeah.
because they're expressing what they're feeling and the pain they're going through to these doctors and they're not listening. I went through that myself when I had shingles. I'm trying to tell these people like this mess hurt. And they saw it hurt because my blood sugar got so severely high I was almost to the point of going into a coma and having a stroke. But they were so adamant about, well, why do we need to give her morphine? She doesn't need morphine. She about to have a stroke. You might want to give her something to bring her pain down. And my nurse had to fight with the charge nurse that night just to do that, so that I didn't go into that stroke or anything worse. So it's really a true thing. They don't want to listen to women when we tell them how we're feeling. And when it comes to the post traumatic stress, especially like after giving childbirth, a lot of women, because it's not talked about as much as it should be, a lot of women aren't recognizing when they're going through that postpartum um depression.
Right.
And so they're dealing with it thinking that it's just, afterbirth blue, they're not thinking that it's something they really need to go and seek help for. And so when they're feeling these different ways, instead of people guiding them to the right thing, they're just kind of passing it off. And then that's when you run into issues of, child neglect and a lot of other things that domino effect from that. So I kind of want to talk about that. Like, how do y'all feel about it? Do y'all see that happening? Have you experienced that? Um, and what do you think can be done to change that thought process to get people to understand we really need you to listen to us?
Well, I think first of all, people need to continue to talk about it, right? You got to keep putting it in the front. You got to keep sharing the stories. You got to keep putting doctors and clinics and hospitals on blast who are doing this. You just, the woman who, they basically told her she wasn't in labor and put her out. And she had the baby 5 minutes away in her husband's car. And now she's suing the hospital because they didn't believe her when she told them, this baby is coming. But just, we just got to continue to talk about it and educate people on it. And it's unfortunate that we have to fight so hard just to get somebody to believe that we in pain and we not drug seeking and we not attention seeking, that we have pain just like any other person of any other color in this world. But I just feel like, the fight has been going on so long and it's going to go on much longer, but we just got to continue. We got to continue to advocate. We got to just keep beating at that horse, and maybe one day the light will go on.
Yeah.
Wow. So wow. I'm just thinking about my experiences and just going through testing, going through different doctors and how they treated me. And it's kind of the same with therapy. It's like when you find a good one, hey, you kind of try to stick with them. But to the PMDD, I feel like that's something that I struggle with. I actually looked into it to be like sometime last year, because before my cycle, like the week before, maybe like a week and a half, week before, it's like the feeling is so intense that you can't even, it's like mental anguish. I could be amazing. I could be great. Everything is going great. I had a good week, everything, work, school, friends, family, like got plans, all type of things. And I'm not even bleeding yet. This TMI or whatever, this is transparency. I'm not bleeding yet. And it's just, I'll wake up one day and it's like mental anguish just take over my whole body. Like it's so deep. And I'm like, and I feel like I'm holding on by a thread. I'm like, okay, this is, I must, in a week or so, I'm gonna start bleeding or something. Cause this, and it's like, dang, you got ovulation. For me, so it's ovulation, you got PMS, but I don't know if you get tested for PMDD or whatever, but when I did my research, that's what it was more so leaning towards. So then you got the PMDD portion with the PMS, and then you got your bleeding cycle and then start all over and all of that. But it's like, dang, like we don't ever really get a break. Like it's so, everything is so intense. The ovulation part is so intense. The actual menstruation is intense. Menopause, premenopause, all those things. It's so much. But yeah, like just being a woman and going through that is really hard, because like, I don't even know, like I said, I don't even know if I get tested for that. It's just something I just found out about myself. And I'm like, this explains so much, because you got PMS and it's like not what I'm experiencing. And that's all that's talked about though. Like I don't even know about PMDD until I did a little bit more research, but it's just like, I'm like, oh, it's just PMS. But the way the amount that you feel, and it's like there's cramps, but the mental part for me is like I can physically feel it. Like it's crippling. Like it's like it's bad. So I'm like, I don't think that's what that is. Like I thought that I knew what PMS was, but it's not. There's a little bit deeper than that. So yeah, not even knowing about that much. You know what I mean? It's just, there's so many parts of us that needs to be talked about more, and there's so many people I wish that talked about their stories more, because everybody can have a little bit of insight, and I think that's what everybody needs. Scientists, doctors, people next door. Like, I feel everybody should be educated when it comes to a woman, just like they're educated when it comes to a man, you know, even yourself. And it's like, we subconsciously just learn more about the next person, or, you know, men, or and then we gotta step back and like, wait, we don't know nothing about us. Like, or like, you research stuff and they'll be like, they don't know nothing about us either. Like, what you mean you don't know? Or you trying to figure out there's no studies on women. And I'm like, how don't we have a study for this? Like, why is y'all done had a 40 long study with all these men, a 40-year long study, but why we don't have no studies? Like, it's just, yeah. So sometimes I don't always promote self-diagnosing because Google be crazy and they say you got cancer in the heartbeat. But like, be realistic and go, you know, just, and then partner with your doctor and stuff, because that's what I'm going to end up doing, is kind of, now that I have a scope of what it could be, I'm going to talk to a professional and be like, hey, this is what I'm experiencing, this is what, you know, and just have that conversation. But educate yourself, and I hope more people talk about everything. There's layers, and there's level to it. So hope everybody gets comfortable and start talking about their experiences as a woman, just growing up and going through doctor's appointments and things like that. So yep. It's crazy out here.
It is, yeah, I agree. You know, it's something that needs to be talked about. It definitely needs to be addressed, and people with the physician, and, you know, again, that goes back to certain things we don't talk about, you know, because of the way we were raised. But how will you know how to address certain things if you don't talk about it? If we don't talk about it as women, if we don't talk about it, you know, with our physicians. So it's definitely something, it's a major thing that, you know, needs to be addressed. Me personally, I've never experienced, you know, those issues, but I know many women that have, and it's definitely something, you know, that needs to be addressed, especially in the healthcare community.
Absolutely. I agree. All right. Let's see if my computer gonna cooperate. Oh, let's see. All right. So I don't have nothing to sip on tonight. Y'all ladies got something to sip on tonight? I know Dawn had a little sippy a minute ago with a little orange on it.
That I just
Oh,
spilled.
you got a Buble? Actually, no. Bring me one of my poppies from under the thing in there in the cabinet.
What you call this thing? I've never heard. No.
It's called Buble. It's called a Buble. What
The
you
way
call
I
it?
can't wait to tell. Oh my God, where my best friend at? So I can.
What you call
I'm
it?
gonna call it a bubbly. So a bubbly.
No, it's a Buble.
Yeah.
That's what the commercial be saying. Buble. You popping her. It don't matter which one, baby.
That's, you know what, I never even heard. I never even really listened to a commercial with Buble.
Yeah, because
Buble
that
and
was like one of the first ones came out, and I tried it. I like them, but now I'm hooked
I
on
do.
coffee.
I
I'm
don't
hooked on
like the
coffee
sugar.
now.
I don't like the sugar. I like that this is just natural and it's just straight to the point. I don't need fake sugar. If I want some sugar, I'll drink some juice or something. Why you gotta
Right.
have sugary water, y'all? Like that.
Okay.
Don't get me started.
Got your
Anyway,
room temperature poppy.
I love a good poppy. I love a good
It
poppy.
says poppy. This is what, orange. I'll drink an orange.
I got water.
You ain't gotta be slurping all in my ear.
No,
She over here slurping.
I don't open it all the way.
Oh, okay. All right, go away, children. Huh?
No, I didn't.
I don't know.
No, it's delicious.
Okay. All right. So,
For toast.
okay, sip and spill letter for tonight. Y'all ready? All right. So this says, I am writing because I'm going through something tough at work that I think a lot of women, especially in teaching, might relate to. And I'd love if y'all could talk about it on the show. I'm a middle school English teacher, and for the past 5 months, I've been dealing with ongoing harassment from a male coworker. It's not physical, but it's constant belittling, undermining comments in front of other staff, and sometimes even students. I get excluded from team planning. There's passive aggressive emails copied to administration unnecessarily, and just a general hostile vibe that makes every day at work feel draining. Some of the examples is like he'll interrupt me in meetings to say things like "That's not how we do it here," or call my lessons cute but ineffective in front of everyone. When I tried addressing it privately, he laughed it off and said I was too sensitive and can't handle constructive criticism. It's created a really toxic environment. I'm stressed all the time, second guessing my teaching, dreading staff meetings, and it's starting to affect my mental health and even my passion for the job I love for years. I've documented everything and reported it to admin and HR, but the response has been slow, and I'm worried about retaliation being brushed off as it being a personal personality clash. That's what it says. As women who talk openly about career struggles and self-growth, I feel like this could be a powerful topic, especially for teachers or anyone in a female dominated field where a coworker and drama and slash harassment can hide behind professional feedback. How do you stand up for yourself without being labeled difficult? When is it time to escalate or even look for a new job? And how do you protect your peace while still advocating for a respectful workplace? And somebody in the comments said, is that a male she's talking about? Yes, it's a male coworker she's talking about. So,
Well, I think first of all, she is documenting everything. That's very important. Documentation is key, because if and when if you want to escalate it up to HR, you need to have documentation and proof. When is the time to do that? I mean, I think it's at your choice, right? I mean, some people would have said, after the third time of something happening, have you spoken to them? I guess that's because I guess there's like steps to it, right? Like, have you let them know that, this is making you feel a certain kind of way, and, having the conversation, with them about it, and then having the conversation with them with somebody else, whether maybe it's not HR, maybe it's I don't know, like, it's so many different ways. I feel like I'm just not taking no shit. I try it to be as professional as I can, but I'm gonna let you know right at the start if you're making me feel some kind of way. And in my mind, when you say when is it time to make a decision on whether maybe to just get a different job, well, I mean, at the end of the day, is this a job that you love? Is this a career, or is this just a job? Are there 10 million other jobs that you can have doing the same thing but somewhere else? Is it financially? Are you financially able to possibly be without work for 6 months to a year? There's so many things to it, but I feel like the best that you did say that you did is documenting. Documenting is going to be key to whatever thing you decide to do. Because if you go to HR and you feel like they're not doing nothing, or you're going to be retaliated against, you can still go to the next step. If you feel like you getting fired because you went to HR about this situation and then all of a sudden you got fired, you can get a lawyer. That's a lawsuit. So, it's so many things that you can do, but what I'm going to recommend is you need to do what you feel is right for you. But for me, I would have been said something. I would have been addressed it, because I think a lot of times we don't address it, and that's why they think that they can continue to do it. So if you're going to fire me, then go ahead, and then I'm going to have a lawsuit because I got documentation, and now I ain't going to have to work for a very long time because you're going to be to pay me for the next 10 years. Stop playing with me.
Right. And you remember when it was not like, I remember when it was so rare to have a male teacher in the first place. Like, not, you know what I'm saying? When I used to think about being a school teacher, I always thought, okay, it's a woman, not I. It's like now these teachers are coming into the school system. These male teachers, they're in, and they just, I don't know, they don't want to share the space. And it's like, honestly, this was our space to begin with. We just let you in, because most of the time when you saw a male in the school, they were in a administrative role, like maybe a principal or a dean, or they were a coach, and then maybe you saw the coach subbing or filling in for a class if they needed to or something, but not a whole lot of male teachers were full-time teachers like they are now. And so I think what happens is those egos clash, because you got a lot of men who can't take direction from women. They can't take direction from women, and that gets to them. And so it's like, oh, let me cause an issue. And people will do things to make you want to leave a job just so that they can have it how they want to have it. And that could just be very well the issue. This could be one of those teachers where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna do anything and everything to make sure this teacher don't stick around. Maybe they had a friend that applied for the position, and because you got the position, they want you out of there. You just never know how things go. It's sad that that's what happens, but that's the reality of it. I did substitute teaching all of 3 months. And I was like, yeah, I can't do that. I don't know how y'all teachers. I can't. And I was doing middle school, baby. First day of substitute teaching, I had to give a kid my lunch because the other kids took their lunch and threw it in the trash, and he was boo crying. It was too much. I was like, oh my goodness. And then I stopped going because they was like, the kids start fighting in the classroom, and they looked at me, was like, you're not gonna break it up? No, because if I accidentally get hit, I'm fighting too. What you mean? I'm not finna be breaking nobody fight. And all these middle school kids my size. No. So they was like, okay, well, thanks for your time. Yep, thank you for your time too, because I will not be coming back. But yeah, I don't get how a lot of teachers do it, but for the ones that do it, I commend them. But yeah, I just say to the person, just keep doing what you're doing. Like Don said, the first thing that you did was you documented everything. Documenting is key because you got a paper trail. Long as nothing has turned physical, that's a good thing, because once you put your hands on me, yeah, everything else go out the window. But yeah, keep it documented. I wouldn't say move that fast as like trying to find another job. Never let anybody run you away from something. If teaching is your passion, if this school is where you want to be, I say stick it out. Don't do all that.
Okay, so I'm coming with a different perspective. Coming from a person that has a 0.0 tolerance level, girl, fuck that job. And move on. There are plenty of other schools. Move on. That's it.
Made me spit this drink out. When it's supposed to be sip and spill, not literally spill. I was about to spill all this orange.
Oh my goodness.
Carly, you was gonna be covered in soda, girl.
I'm with
Y'all
you.
know, look, y'all know I have no filter.
No filter.
In my 60s, I have no filter.
Man.
Period.
Don't let shit stress you out.
Exactly. Hey,
Move
I'm with you on it. I'm with you when you're right. Because I think a lot
You know
of people do
what?
that.
I
They
like
make people
that.
stress them too much. Stop letting. I feel like if I'm gonna be stressed out, I want it to be because I'm stressing myself out, not because somebody else doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
Protect your peace by all means
that
necessary,
part,
including on the job.
protect your peace. I think that's what I
Yep.
got on my thing, on my cover picture on my Facebook page. Protecting my peace. Something it say, child. I done left it up there so long I don't even remember. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to my notes. Okay, so where we at? Oh, Dawn, hurry up, girl. Hurry up, girl. Dawn had to step away
Look,
for a second. She finna miss
Don
the
had to
naked
step
man.
away.
I
Don
know she
had to
about to
step
miss.
away after that.
About to miss her old shirtless man. She about to
Oh,
miss
come on,
it.
girl.
She about to miss it. While we waiting on her, I'm gonna pull up something because I want to see what else
Don had to
to
step
talk
away
about.
after I said that.
Okay.
Oh man,
She said, and
look.
on that note, I gotta take a lap, man. I gotta take a lap.
Nah, I'm old. I'm old. When I gotta go,
She
I
said she
gotta go.
old.
I know that's right, Dawn. Listen to your body.
Listen,
Right.
or I'd have been done for the
So,
rest of the night.
so if y'all miss Monday, our sexy man of the week is Mr. Shamar Moore. Now, last Monday, I showed a picture. It was like one of his younger pictures. But I want to show how he look now because, girl, child, he over 50 and he's still fine.
I love a
Still,
well-aged black man.
Mm-hmm.
man.
Let me see. Let me
He's
see.
still looking good. Look, if it let me be great, let me great now. Come on. Wait, Sonny went.
Holy Jesus.
Okay.
Oh, let me wipe
Yes,
that
got a
off.
little sun.
Let me wipe that.
You
Oh,
you
God.
trying to brush that?
Well, let me just.
You trying to brush that sand off of that man?
Yes,
Mm,
child.
mm.
Ooh-wee.
Oh, wee.
My God, on today.
Did I
Mm,
do that, Sonny, or
mm.
did you do that, Sonny?
My God, on today.
Yes.
Yes. So Shamar Moore, this is our sexy man of the week. So if you guys don't know, he was born in Oakland, California. And so a lot of people always ask, is he mixed? Is he this and that? So his dad is African American and his mother is of Irish and French Canadian descent. Okay. Um and he's lived a lot of places. At one point, his mom was a teacher in Bahrain and in Denmark. So he moved all over the place with his mother. His grandmother is from Canada, from Quebec. So he's got a lot of roots all over the place. He has one daughter finally, and I think for me, I think because I can't remember if his mom passed before or after his daughter was born. But you know, he's always, if you know Shamar Moore, he's like a mama's boy.
Mm-hmm.
He is a huge mama's boy, and I know he took it extremely hard when his mom passed. And like I said, this was his first child that he now has, first and only child.
Yeah.
He has an extensive acting career. And back on Young and the Restless, I'm gonna have to go see if he back. I know he's back on there. I just haven't looked at it yet. I gotta call my mom and be like, look, have you seen Malcolm on there yet? Because that's his name on Young and the see if he done made his guest appearance on there. Yeah. Let's see. Does he have anything coming up? Let's see. I'm trying to see. I think they got a new season of SWAT coming up.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken, they're gonna be working on a new season. I think they got they got the SWAT Exiles. There's a new SWAT little thing. Oh, sorry, Sonny. Sonny, like, I'm back, girl. I'm back. Okay. And then I know the last movie that he did a cameo in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and 3. You know, the cartoon. He did like a voiceover in that. But other than that, I mean, he still does little things here and there. So, but I just wanted to look at him. And I was like, oh, let me brush this sand. Come here. Let me get that sand off your chest.
Right.
Off them abs. Because, you know, it ain't every day you see a man over 50 with abs.
Right. Ooh.
Still showing they 6 packs and stuff.
Right.
Yes. All right, now for the new music alert, I don't think the album itself is new. However, I've been hearing this song lately and it's been stuck in my head whenever it come on and I be humming it all day. And it's Summer Walker, Go Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she, because it's got that little catchy
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, you go girl," whatever. I'm like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And it's featuring, and it's all girls are on the song. You got Summer Walker, you got Lotto, and you have Doja Cat on this song. And I think it's a really it's got a nice little vibe to it. It's just
Yeah, it
kind of
does.
laid back, and it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you go girl.
Yeah, I like
But
it.
look, not Kimberly in the chat getting hot and bothered by Kimberly said, got you more careful. Ooh, Shamar Moore got you heated in the comments, girl. I know. I don't know who we're gonna have next week. I don't know who's gonna be our sexy man for next week, but I don't know. We're gonna have to find somebody to top Shamar Moore.
I tagged you in somebody. So look out for that.
Oh, you did?
Lady
You have
Bird.
to remind me.
Yeah. I said our next sexy man of the week. I saw a video.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to see. All right. I know we were gonna have our entrepreneur spotlight, but that's got postponed. So once we know who our next entrepreneur spotlight is going to be, we'll make the announcement. We'll let you guys know. Because I still have people that we still got a bunch of people that we can pull up. I just gotta reach out. I was trying to go in like a little order of everybody who reached out. So we're gonna keep it going. Next week is our career and money week. So we're gonna be talking about those, getting our topics together. And then the last week of this month is gonna be our fun week. It's gonna be our freestyle week. Anything goes.
Hey.
I do have one topic I want to talk about that week. I want to talk about comfort versus fashion. That's one of the topics I want to talk about because I'm like this laid back jeans t-shirt type of person, and some people they'll wake up and they could just be going to the corner store or to the grocery store and they putting their makeup, they doing everything, sweatpants and a t-shirt. So I want to talk that because I'm like, okay, do I need to just go on and do a whole new wardrobe? Like, do I need to elevate my
That's
fashion?
me. That's so me. I can't wait to get into that.
Because now my man be looking at me like, you gonna do something? So now I'm like, okay, now I got to what I'm saying, spice it up a little bit and be a little adventurous. But yeah, so I can't wait for that week. And whatever, like I said, that's gonna be our week. We talk about whatever. So if you guys that's watching think of some topics y'all want us to touch on, we're not talking about no download man. I don't know. We might could throw it in there for 5 minutes.
We have 2 birthdays this month.
Yes. We got 2 birthdays. We got Miss Yvette. And we got 16th. Yep. And who else birthday? Sunny girl. You getting over?
I'll be 26. Oh my gosh.
The hill of 20s.
And I will be 61 on the 16th.
Okay. Wow.
Black don't crack. Oh,
that's coming up, honey.
That's why them men be at her now. You see all that? She's ooh, that's why they be coming at her, and then she's batting them off or batting them away.
And I'd be like, get on the way. I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good.
She don't want me to put her down. I'm trying to put her down, and she's like, what? You see everybody say hi. Yes.
Hello,
we getting out
Carly.
of here, Carly. Any last words you want to say, Carly, before we get out of here? She like, Well, you let her head. She a mess. She know what the camera is. That's the crazy part. But you guys, we are on here every Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere on social media. You can find me, Don, Miss Yvette Renee, Sunny. We are all on social media. Make sure you follow us on our pages. I'm hoping soon. I gotta look and see when we're gonna start going live on our 1 Hour Girls Talk page. We have like 60 days before it lets me do that from creating the page. So once we're able to go live on that page, that's where you're gonna see us live at. If you ever want to reach out, email is 1hourgirlstalk@gmail.com. That's how you can reach us. I know we missing Miss Sharon tonight. So she's not here with us, but I hope everything is good with her. She's probably at work. Usually Miss Sharon is not here. She's working. Somebody called out. That means somebody don't want a job. They need to get fired, and y'all need to hire a new person.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah. And what else we got? We're gonna take a week off, the week of April. What is that? Like right after Easter. So that week after Easter, so Easter Sunday, I think is like the 4th or the 5th, maybe the 6th. That following week, we're gonna be out, and then we'll be back. So that's the only time you're not gonna see us. We here. Okay,
Right.
we are here. We're not going nowhere.
We might be a little bit late because of technical difficulties, but we're here.
Right.
Yep,
We
and
here.
it's
We
my
coming.
fault. If we not on time, it's my fault. That means the weather badly. You see, I'm not having no glitches now because the wind stopped, the rain stopped.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's pretty. It's decent now.
so
Yeah.
it's literally the weather that will affect our internets. That's crazy. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm trying to see what part of this video I'm gonna clip tonight.
Right.
And post.
I'm been thinking about clips myself.
I definitely clipped the one from Monday.
I did too. I haven't
clipped
posted
that
it
one.
yet.
I definitely
clipped
had
it
to go
too.
back and save it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If y'all
Oh,
missed
hilarious.
Monday, go back and rewatch Monday and don't miss like the last 15 minutes. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
Tune in.
Yes. All right, you guys, we out of here. Okay, Boobalay drink.
Bye. See you next week.
Good night, you guys.
Thanks for
We'll
coming. See you next
later.
week.
Good
Enjoy
night.
your weekend.
Closing statement, get tested.
Okay, get tested.
Come on, Miss Yvette Renee. Know your
Get
results.
tested.
That's
Know
right.
your status. Yes.
And
we
don't
outta
add to the
here.
stigma.
Yeah.
Right.